Hello, and welcome to the 11th episode of My Art is My Voice podcast. I'm Rebecca Danger.
I'm Tom Ferry.
And today we're interviewing our friend Lori. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Lori VanEtta, and I've been doing art my whole life, but seriously painting for 10 years.
Okay. Well, we're at Lori's house today, and we thought we'd come over, and we know some about you because we met. When did we meet?
It's all in the past couple of years.
A couple
ago.
years, just 2 years, yeah.
And you've been coming to Black Swan.
Yeah.
And really, you show your work a lot. And I think in our group, we see you as a very successful artist, and we definitely love everything you have to say. So we thought it would be fun to share you with other people too. So do you want to talk about how you were teaching and got into art? You said you've been making art your whole life.
Yeah. My main passion in life is art, always has been. But of course, you need to be able to make money too.
Right.
And I also love kids, so I went into elementary education and I taught everything, but what I ended up doing was integrating art into absolutely everything we did. But then it became very popular. The parents requested me because their kids would be so happy in school because we got to do drama and art and all sorts of things. And then I retired. I used to teach in Seattle, retired and moved up to Bellingham, and I still taught art. I taught through Bay, which Bellingham Academy for Arts for Youth, and for Allied Arts. And I did Allied Arts during the day and Bay in the afternoon. And that became like 4 to 5 days a week, and it was starting to be like being a full-time teacher again. So I quit that. And now I taught people with dementia art. And so I've done art and teaching pretty much for many, many years. And now I'm just focusing on doing the art, and I'm in heaven.
Yeah.
Because I can focus now.
Yeah.
Before it was divided energy.
Yeah. Having kids at home and trying to work as an artist, there's a lot of divided energy there. So, so you do a lot of galleries at this point.
Right.
Yeah. It seems like you always have 2 or 3 gallery shows going at the same time.
Well, I try. I apply for lots of things. Yeah. And I like showing locally because it's easier to take your paintings there and to pick them up. And then I'm getting to know people in the art community, which is really fun. Yeah. I love talking to other artists.
Yeah. Yeah, we do too. I mean, I think
Yeah.
Black Swan's been so wonderful for that, because I think, maybe not, but it seems like creative people just think differently a lot of the time. And so,
And we share some of the same struggles.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I remember the first time we met and we were talking about what were we talking, 20 minutes, and we all had family stuff from the past and childhood
Same
stuff.
drama.
And
Right.
Yeah, I mean, do you think some of that is part of your creativity, is remaking childhood experiences or something?
Well, not truly remaking them, but it is my happy place. It's, if I'm upset, I'll go in the basement and paint for a while, and it calms me down.
Yeah.
Did your parents support you in the art?
Not my dad, not at all. I wanted to major in art, and he was paying for my education, and he said, "No way if you're going to study art." My mom did a little bit, but he had more control over what happened in our family.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm doing art in spite of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you feel that way frequently.
Very much.
Yeah. So it wasn't, in fact, I've had years ago when I was a rower for a long time, and I'd be at rowing regattas, and people would say, "Well, what do you like to do besides rowing and teaching?" And I'd be like, "Oh," and I'd get all excited.
Right.
Art's my thing. I just love art and this and that. And I remember I told one of the rowers that I was an artist, And by then I hadn't even tried to sell anything at a gallery or anything. And she's like, oh yeah? And I said, well, everybody can be an artist. And I firmly believe that you need to work at it, you need to want it, but anybody can be an artist. But the thing, I have a lot of people tell me, I can't do art. I can only draw stick figures.
I hear that a lot too.
I mean, and that just kills me, because to play a violin, you don't hand a kid a violin and expect them to be able to play in an orchestra the next day.
Right.
But we hand a kid a paintbrush
Right.
and expect that, oh, they're either an artist or they're not an artist.
Right.
And I think we're all artists.
Yeah, and I break it down even farther in that maybe the kid can't play the violin. Maybe he's a saxophone.
Definitely.
Maybe he's a drum.
Right.
Maybe he's a whatever. So like for me, like drawing is not my particular thing.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the parts of art that super frustrates me, that I can never get to where I want, but I also understand the process involved and the amount of time and effort involved to get to where I want. I'd rather put somewhere else.
And don't you think certain styles of art excite you much more than others? Like, I'll see a lot of art in galleries and places where it's beautifully done, and I totally respect the person's technique and years of practice, but I'm not excited by it.
Yeah.
And that's why lately I do abstracts, because when I see a cool abstract, I'm like, oh, I just love that. I think,
This is one of your pieces. I think we'll put some
Yeah.
video, or I don't know what I'm
Still
saying.
shots,
Still
maybe.
shots in of some of your
Oh,
work.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think, like Tom, I know with the knife making, he played with light and shadow so much. And so that's carried over into your paintings. But like, I
Textures.
don't love I like playing with texture, but I don't love playing with realism and light and shadow in the same way as,
Right.
you know, the colors and textures and how they interact. So yeah, maybe you're just drawing stick figures because you haven't found the right medium yet, right?
oh, I think so, totally.
Yeah, it could be knitting, it could be pottery, it
Yeah.
could be
Even cooking and like,
cooking,
any
absolutely.
kind
Right.
of creative thing,
Clothing.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because when I was a teacher and I didn't have much energy or time to do much art, I wore really kind of cool avant-garde clothes. And I think it was my way of being creative. And now that I'm painting and doing all this stuff, I don't even care about the clothes that much.
Funny.
Yeah.
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 So what do you think, because I think one of the things, I know we had a Black Swan meeting last summer when the artist came that was losing her eyesight, and that was such an impactful meeting, I think, for everybody there. And you were talking at that meeting about like treating yourself like you treated your students, and that was such an impactful thing. And I think if you want to talk more about that, like, do you think that some of that comes from like not feeling supported by your parents and just being so
Right.
gentle with yourself with that?
Right. And I think a huge turning point for me in my art was when I shut down the inner critic. Because even now, all of my paintings go through a really ugly stage. In fact, I was telling one of the gallery owners here that if I have another show, we should call it Disaster Paintings. She goes, what? Your stuff is beautiful. And I said, oh, not always. So now I persevere. It goes through an ugly stage, and I'll think, oh, that's pretty bad. What do I need to do to fix it? And I'll think, oh, there's not enough contrast. There's not enough lights and darks. So I'm going to put some white over here. And or sometimes they're a lost cause, and I just take a big swath of red and cover it up, and then maybe scratch through and see the old painting and go, oh, wow, I like that. Another thing besides the inner critic is learning to experiment and realizing that not everything's going to work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you like, we've talked before about like the costs and thinking about the costs of it and all of the things that can kind of block you from playing and experimenting and like accepting that not everything is going to come out. Do you have any tech tools you use for that?
No, I'm pretty ruthless. Now I spend all my money on art when I used to spend it on other stuff. And there's an art store in Seattle that when I go in, I'm just like a kid in a toy store. Like, oh my God, look at all this stuff. Yeah.
I even went to Dakota Arts in Bellingham recently, and it was like, oh my gosh, because we're out, we have nothing where we are. And so, it's like, I want to try that, and I want to try that. And
I find I do better art when it's something I haven't done before, a new tool.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I think because I get out of my head and I'm more excited about trying the tool than thinking logically about if it's looking good or not. But one thing about that is I switch a lot between the art knowledge I have, and I've read about it my whole life, and the intuition. And if I stay just in my head with the knowledge, things don't turn out that well. I think I get tight. I get really tight. And then some of my best paintings are ones where I thought they were super ugly and said, oh, what the hell? And just start scribbling on it and doing things and then going, wow, I kind of like that area. And so I'll paint over this. And it's when you get out of your head, it's so much better.
That can be a challenge, though. I think that's one of the things that I admire about you is a lot of the artists. We have wonderful artist friends, but I always see you are more able to get out of your head than it seems like some of the other artists I know. So,
or maybe she never gets in her head.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I think too, like you'll tell us.
Well, I used to a lot.
Well, but you just like you were telling us last year, like you just went to a gallery or somewhere locally, and you were like, "Would you like to put my art in?" And you're just so willing to show up and hear a no too, right?
Oh yeah.
I think that can be some of that in your head stuff.
Yeah, that's some advice I have for new artists is almost every gallery I went into, they said no at first. And then I would say, okay, that's fine. I understand you have enough artists, but if you can just look at my website, and I hand them my card, and then they'll call me up and say they love it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Not always.
So the initial no isn't always a no.
Oh no, by any means. Yeah.
See, I think
that's how I got
important.
into Mona and LeConner.
I think that was the one I was thinking of.
She said no. Because she had too many artists already. Well, LeConner,
Yeah.
And I just said, okay, but why don't you check mine out anyway? I'd really appreciate that. And I think the fact that I wasn't super pushy and I didn't say no, take no as an answer. I also think my experience with teaching in a private school in Seattle with very high-powered parents who expected a whole lot and would be evaluating me, especially in September and October, quite a bit. I've learned to not take things as personally, and I think as artists, that's one of the hardest things. Is
so too.
Is like you're putting your heart into what you make, and then somebody doesn't want it, and you're like,
or they say something negative about it,
right? And I've learned not to listen to that.
Yeah.
One of my brothers he likes very realistic art, and for years he would come visit and look at my art, and you could just tell he really didn't like it that much, and it used to really hurt my feelings. And then I thought, that's ridiculous. We all like different kinds of music, and we all like different kinds of art. But now it's funny, he'll look at one and he goes, well, I kind of like that one. And it's a kind of like it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
then the other brothers bought paintings, so yay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think so much of art is the mental part, like you're saying.
So
That's-
much of
yeah.
it's the mental part.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting what you're saying about being evaluated by the parents, because you definitely had to be confident in yourself to
Right,
be able
or
to
fake it.
Right.
And
Right,
that's what I've done
right.
my whole life is I fake it till I make it.
Yeah.
Because even my first place I took art to try to sell it was Jansen. And another artist I had been taking a workshop from said, you need to get your art out there. And I said, I will. I'll do it when I'm better. And she says, you already are better. Get it out there. And then I took it in, and my hands were literally shaking. You have to learn to push your own personal boundaries if you want to get anywhere, if you want to step that ladder.
Growth is uncomfortable.
Right,
I think it's just
exactly.
getting out of your comfort
Right.
zone.
Yeah.
Right.
Showing up.
Yeah. Showing up. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, is it?
Not at all.
And I think when it's so joyful in the making and then so challenging in the showing up, it's kind of crazy making sometimes, at least for me, because it's like,
oh, it
you
is
know,
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if you think about it, we're being judged always.
Right. Right. I
Even when your stuff is in a show, sometimes I'll go behind people and listen to what they're saying, and people are very judgmental
Yeah.
about. They all think they know about. I mean, none of us do,
Right.
but they
Right.
all think they know what's good and bad art. And,
Right.
well, yeah, just like what I used to always tell the kids in my class was that, and they'll go, like if a kid didn't like, the other kids didn't like their art. And I was always like, no, you do your art. You don't do art to please other people. Do your stuff. And they'll go, well, they don't like it. And I'll go, okay. Have you ever heard of Vincent van Gogh? And they're like, yeah. And I said, you know how his paintings sell for millions? And I'm like, yeah. He only sold one painting in his entire life. They're like, what?
Yeah.
And so much of art is luck. Like
Right.
who
Yeah.
promotes you and
Right.
who finds you.
Right.
Where you were born.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Because even being here locally in Bellingham, we're in Bellingham, the opportunities are not the same even as Seattle or
No.
even, and then I've heard from friends like East Coast art sells better over there. And so I think, yeah, there is a lot of luck involved, but I also think it's the muse shows up when the pen is moving, and like the luck shows up when you're putting yourself out there. And I think,
Totally. Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's true with creating too. A lot of times I have no idea what I'm going to make. So you just start making something.
Right.
Right.
And then something happens, and then you have something to react to.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Do you want to talk more about, I bookmarked it, now it's gone. The judgment aspect in art, and like, because you're right, like even getting into a gallery or a show or anything, it's just a constant judgment with
It is.
artwork.
Yeah. It's hard. You have to be, and mine comes and goes. I say to my husband all the time, I don't know what I'm doing.
Tom was just saying that in the car on the way here.
Yeah,
So,
that's
and
my
I
favorite
say it
saying.
constantly.
Yeah.
So
I have no idea
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
There's the total imposter syndrome
Right.
that everybody knows about, where you just think you don't really know what you're doing, but then something beautiful comes out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to go off on another tangent, but I'm a true believer that there's magic in art.
yeah.
If you put energy into it and start doing it, you kind of get help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, we went to see a ceramic artist at the Wacom Art Guild
Yeah,
meeting,
right.
and she's down in Skagit, and she does these really interesting. I can't remember her name,
I can't
but
remember
she
either.
does really beautiful, a lot of figures, and with like bird wings coming out of their heads, really different than a lot of the really functional pottery that we see. And she was saying she started in poetry, and that was where the whole, once the pen's moving the muses, it's easier for the muse to find you. And I think that's absolutely what you're saying. Like, once you get going, it feels like maybe that flow state, maybe you call it. And
well, there's a great book, I think it's by Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, and it's called Big Magic.
That's right.
Have you read that?
I'm like halfway through, you're reminding me.
I love that book because there is big magic. And what she says is there's all these creative ideas in the world, and they're kind of all floating around.
Yeah.
And then if you don't grab it, it's going to go find somebody else.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got like halfway through and then put it down, but I'm going to pick that back up.
Yeah.
I remember she was talking about how she had an idea and then it like went to her friend, and her friend had like the exact same story, and it was like not quite the same, but it was like the characters were both in Brazil, and like
I have a book I was going to write, but then I was too busy teaching, and it was going to be called Through My Front Window, because my son would always watch the dump trucks and then, just stand there and, when they're toddlers and they're so into all that stuff. So I thought it'd be cool to have a kid's picture book where it's through a window and then there's different stuff that they can see. And I liked the idea, but I never really super wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't put the effort into doing it. And then I saw another book almost just like it.
Yeah.
So that idea floated by.
Somebody else grabbed it.
That's right.
Yeah, I've definitely gotten to the point that if I have a really super creative idea, I won't voice it because I believe it goes into the ether and somebody else can grab it.
That's kind of what the book talks about
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the creative side is so interesting, and then also there's the sales side. That's what we've been talking about a lot recently is you have to put that Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours into your technique.
Totally.
And then you have to put another 10,000 into marketing it and showing up in the sales side if that's what you want to be good at,
I have a book over there. That's all right. I meant to stop for a
This is
second.
great.
So I love this book. It's Abstract Painting, The Art Journey, and I got it at Dakota here in Bellingham. And what's cool is that they have people's art and then they interview the artist.
Okay.
And almost every one they would say, like, what advice do you have for aspiring artists? And well, this advice is always enter with the attitude of what if? And that's the experimenting.
Yeah.
But the majority of the artists in this book, and they're all successful abstract artists, talk about the main advice they have is put in the time.
Yeah.
Put in.
That's what we try and say is even we've had questions on the sales side and then, the art side. And I think ultimately what we say is show up. You have to
Right,
show
you have
up.
to show up.
You have to try the different markets. You have to try gallery shows. You have to try.
Right.
You have to try to figure out what works.
I tend to say yes to everything, even if I think it won't work.
Yeah.
For example, one of the gallerists here wanted me to sell on the streets, on a table on the street of downtown Bellingham. And I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
And she goes, well, there's going to be a lot of other artists and it'll be worthwhile. And people are going to come down from Vancouver and up from Seattle. And I'm like, okay. And I thought, I don't think this is going to work. But I said, okay. And because I figured, don't let an opportunity walk away.
Right.
And I did it, and then everybody would walk by and say, oh, that's beautiful, and then just keep walking. So it was kind of what I thought would happen, but that's another thing is you need to try out all sorts of different things till something works.
I think that's one of the things that I see and you see, like you're so good at just saying yes and experimenting and not necessarily deciding, no, that's not going to work and not showing up, right?
Right.
I think that's an important thing
Right.
with
And
an
I think
art.
you learn something from every little thing you do.
Yeah.
To move forward.
Like, as you know, I did a collaboration with Paul, and I had never done a collaboration, but I thought, what the heck?
Right.
I'll try it. And you kind of learn more about yourself.
Yeah.
Because like we had a different philosophy on pricing, and we had to work through that. And I also learned that I really kind of prefer doing my own stuff because I was so afraid of ruining his work.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, well, because I really respect other artists' work,
Right. Right.
but with my abstracts, I tend to be like, and just like go
Right.
like right over stuff, and like, oh, I covered my favorite part, but that's all right. I'll have a new favorite
Right.
part.
Right.
And that's another thing, is that you need to not let a certain part of your painting be too precious.
Right.
Because then you end up painting all around that one part, and then it doesn't tie
Right. It's like framed
together.
in, right?
Right.
Like this part of the painting's different than the rest of it when you're really attached to that one spot.
Right. And I'm not saying it does. I'm saying in all forms of art.
Right.
It's just that I do painting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were talking in the car too, because I've been doing a lot of knitting this week, and it's easier for me in knitting to be like, nope, and just pull the whole thing back than painting where I'm like, I don't know, I might mess it up. I think it's, it's that attitude that really helps with creativity.
Oh, I think so too. A lot of people are really precious with
Yeah.
doing stuff on canvas. They're so afraid.
Right.
I'm brutal to my canvases.
Right.
I've taken belt sanders to them. I scrape on them. I just do everything. And I figure if it wrecks it, I'll try a different one.
Right.
Right.
That's such a good attitude, though.
Yeah.
I think for life too, right? Like
Right.
not just for the art. That's what we always talk about.
Right.
It's not just art conversations we have. It's really the bigger picture.
That's how I ended up with Joel. Was we had only been dating for about 3 months, and he was offered a journalism internship in Eastern Washington. And I was thinking in my head, oh, great guy, and another good one gets away. And then he goes, oh no, I want you to come with me. He goes, I don't think you'll like it there, but it's an internship for the summer. So I thought, what the heck? 3
try it.
months, I can move back if I.
Right.
Then
Right.
they offered him the job. So,
And so how long were you there then?
6 years.
Okay. A little longer than 3 months.
Yeah, but obviously we wouldn't still be together if I
Right.
hadn't taken that opportunity. If I would have just said, no, you're right, I don't think I'd like it, Eastern Washington.
Right. Right. I think that's such a good mindset. And I
Yeah.
think we find, again, we have
It's
wonderful.
called beginner's mindset.
Right.
My brother always talks
Yeah,
about that.
it's definitely like within mindfulness, it's that child's mindset,
Yeah.
or like it's the first time you've done something, and kind of really noticing all the details of it, right? It's a very being present thing.
I can't say, though, I don't get extremely nervous when I do all this new stuff. Inside, I feel this anxiety.
Yeah.
But I do it anyway.
Okay.
Like when I was a rower, I'd be in regattas and I'd be up at the starting line in a race thinking in my head, why the hell did I sign up for this? and then I would just make myself do it. And then later I'll go, oh, that was so fun.
Right.
But that anxiety before you do something,
So how do you get through that? Do you just
I kind of do self-talk.
self-talk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just tell it's kind of the Buddhist way where you see your feelings, but you don't attach to them too much. I'll think, boy, I'm a nervous wreck. Oh, well, that's what happens.
Right.
I talk to myself.
Right.
That's what happens when you do something new.
Yeah. I always say I'm talking myself off the ledge constantly. Like there's that constant. And it's interesting. I've had I've realized I'm very anxious this week. And normally I'm so good at not attaching to it, like you're saying. So that's good for me to hear right now too. Just that you're right. This is a feeling that's here for the moment, but
it'll pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not anxious. I'm feeling anxious, right? Not the non-attachment.
Yeah, and I think for myself, it's easy to, it's not easy. It's difficult to recognize the difference between anxiety and excitement for the new.
Totally.
And I think sometimes it's more difficult for me to give myself permission to use that as excitement But I also realize, like, in those failures and in that play place, that's where mastery comes from.
Right.
I think that's a good point.
It's just most of my mastery type stuff were accidental. They were stumbling upon something, the way two mediums work together.
Totally. That's my best
how
stuff.
the particular
Accidents.
rock textured the clay.
Yep.
It was just all randomness in the play moment.
Yeah. And if you're anxious for too long, you can realize I'm not enjoying this and do something else.
Right.
I mean, because we're not all meant to do everything.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And I think you can use those feelings when they come up as like guideposts for how you're moving forward. Like you're
Right.
saying, like, okay, I'm tired of feeling like this. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll try a different
Right.
path too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard. A lot of it is trusting in yourself and not worrying about what other people think. And we're all trained to be people
Right.
pleasers.
yeah.
Right.
And if you're a creative artist, you're going to be doing something new and different that maybe other people don't like.
Right. And
Like-
it doesn't need to make sense to everybody.
No.
Not at all.
I know there's some artists in our group where I look at their stuff and go, huh, interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I think, that's so cool. They're doing their own thing.
Right. I think that's the big thing. I have a quote on my phone right now that I know I've mentioned before, but it's, my hand will always be imperfect and that's where the beauty lies, right? And I think so much of some of the work we see in the group, like, it is just their voice on canvas or paper or whatever
Right.
it is. And it is so, at first you might be like, whoa, but then to see that that's how they show up creatively in the world, I think it's, knowing the person and seeing the artwork is such a powerful thing.
I think that's why people like meeting artists.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we talk about, otherwise it's just a piece of art on the wall, and you're not going to connect to it in the same way as you connect to the artist behind it,
Another weird thing is that, like, I have a friend who's a pretty well-known musician now, and I'll say, oh yeah, I've known him since I was 14, and people will go, really? And they're just like, oh my God. And then I'll just look at him and go, he's just a normal guy.
Right, right.
And I think that's another thing is that a lot of people think that it goes back to, we think you're either born an artist or whatever. They'll be like, oh, they're an artist. They do something
Right.
I can't do.
Right.
When really,
Some weird label.
I know.
None of us understand what it is.
I know.
We've
Yeah.
been talking about like the romanticized ideas of what it means to be an artist, or
Yes,
we were
yes.
even talking about like farming and how homesteading and trying to grow all your own food is really popular. And I'm as guilty as anyone at saying, oh, that looks like fun, but like the reality of being a farmer is really challenging.
Oh God, yeah.
And it's this very romanticized idea of farming or an artist or musician.
Right.
Yeah. It's interesting how, and I think, I'm guilty of it too. Like, oh, being an artist looks like this, and that's,
Well, and this that I think most of us have put on it is not a fun place to be.
No.
Like, we're
It
supposed to
adds
be
stress.
starving, we're supposed to be struggling,
I know.
we're supposed to be this, we're supposed to be that. That's what initially comes to all of our heads. So for me, it's like I want more of like this creative society where we're just creative.
Right.
And that's all it is.
And I think it can completely happen.
yeah, I think so many people don't feel confident in themselves and do, like you're saying, just showing up as yourself. I think that's really hard. I mean, I know
It's
it's hard
vulnerable.
right.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's definitely, I've been putting myself online. We've been doing the podcast, and I've gotten some comments back, and it's like, whoa, like it definitely, you have to be very solid in yourself to show up.
And that comes and goes.
It does. You're right.
It
You're
comes
right.
and goes. It's
I
a
think-
roller coaster.
Yeah.
I think that's. a
I'm
good
not
point.
always confident. No.
No, but then, what you see online or at a gallery with the work on the walls, you're not seeing those weeks. Like this week, I'm feeling very anxious, and like you're not seeing all of that background stuff. You're seeing when someone shows up.
That's why I was thinking it'd be cool to have a show where you take photos of your work through all the stages, and then people could see my ugly stages and be
Right.
like, oh yeah, I guess that wasn't that cool looking then.
Right.
Or they might be like, that was amazing,
Oh,
right?
I know. Sometimes I would say I painted over one. I do lots of painting over, saves money. Plus, I like the textures showing through. But Joel will go, you painted over that one? I like that one.
Isn't that funny?
But I'll be like, nah, it just wasn't doing it for me. And that's the thing, too, is it might have done it for him, but it didn't do
Right.
it for
Right.
me.
Right.
And ultimately, and ideally, we're all doing art for ourselves,
Right.
not to please other people.
But isn't that so funny when it's such a judgy world? Like
Oh, it's
the art
so
world
hard.
is so judgy. It's really hard to do it like for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, I
Like,
totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, but I think that's that being confident in yourself and showing up.
Right, like my landscapes would always sell.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'd start trying to do landscapes. And then I thought, I don't really want to do these. So I quit.
Right. Right. And it's that finding that right person that connects with it and has the space and has the money. Like it's really, there's something magical about it too, right?
Well, that's another thing I have to say about art is that, oh my God, people won't buy art, but they'll buy a $30,000 car without
Right.
thinking twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Or people say, I don't have the money to do art, but I'm always seeing them buying lattes and croissants all the
Right.
time. And I'm thinking,
funny.
well, I've kind of given up the lattes too
Right.
often.
So I'm thinking when I was doing my little toys that I'm getting back into and I was selling at markets, there was one in particular. So I had my little guys for $15 and they take me like an hour. So it's actually underpriced.
Oh, totally.
And somebody came, they would, this one particular show, everybody, $15 for this? And then they'd walk across to the freeze-dried candy right across from me, drop $60 on candy, and it was gone by the time they were at the end of the row. And I'm
Right.
like, what is happening?
That's
Yeah,
what I don't
it's
get.
So funny.
People's priorities. It's
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah. I think, we
That'll
talked
be the
about
part
that.
he'll be putting in and saying, he'll be like, there's Lori VanEtta, well-known local artist. People's priorities.
Well, we talk about it because Mr. Danger, that's why I like to call him James. He's helping film.
I love
and-
your name, by the way.
We enjoy it too.
Yeah.
But he was in banking for 15 years. So he was seeing inside everybody's bank accounts and the choices. And I think we've talked about it before too. It's ultimately choices. Like
It totally is choices.
yeah. And,
Yeah.
and priorities, I think,
Yeah.
like you're saying. We never say to our kids, we can't afford that. We say we're going to choose to spend our money differently than that. And you're right.
That's
like,
a great
I have
way to
art in
teach
my
them
house.
that.
You have lots of art. Like art is
Yeah.
a priority, whether it's my own art or somebody else's too.
Yeah, and I think that's a really interesting thing, the artist dynamic to collector dynamic that I personally believe to be true, is that as difficult as for artists to express themselves creatively, I think it's also difficult for people to buy art to express themselves creatively.
Right, because they know it represents
Because
a certain
it's-
side of their personality.
Exactly.
And the judgments there
Right,
too.
exactly.
Or perceived judgment
Right, their perceived judgment.
of others.
So I think
Yeah.
art is this unique thing in that way, and that it does resonate very deeply and can divide.
Right.
And yet, like, there's a farm stand on the way from my house to Tom's house, and so I've been saying it a lot recently on the podcast. There's a Bigfoot painted on the side of it, and I was showing it to Mr. Danger on the way. I was like, "Oh, this is that one I keep talking about." And driving past that, I mean, I'm talking about it now. I've talked about it
Yep.
on like 4 other episodes. Like, it brings me so much joy to see it driving by, and I think about it frequently. Like,
Yeah.
I am not there like, well, why did you put the trees in that spot and why is
Right.
it holding up? You know,
Not
there's
at all.
It's just
Yeah.
colorful and fun and yeah. But I think that goes back to the confidence thing, not just on the creative side, but on the buying side too.
Yeah, the buying side struggles too.
And back to the magic thing is, I think you can put intention in your art. Like, I'm really trying to put positive energy into the world because there's so much negative. So I don't do anything that would be like a total downer for people, because we have so much of that right now. But people who've bought my art say, I've had many different people say this. They go, whenever I look at that, I just feel so good. And I'm like, oh my God, it's working. That positive energy is coming through. And isn't that the coolest thing ever?
We've been talking about spell casting with your words, and it's that same kind of thing you're saying, like that energy you put out is, you know, hopefully what you're getting back. And in that case, you're seeing directly that it is.
Right. And I'm trying to stop myself from saying things like, oh, I have to do this, or I have to do that.
Right.
And then realize, oh my God, we're so lucky to have this life.
Right.
I get to do this. I get to do that.
Right. Yeah, that seems
I
to be a
get to clean
lifelong
those
struggle.
toilets.
Oh, good, it's dirty again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It happens so quickly around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a couple boys, so yeah.
The three boys and myself. Yeah. I think it's such a, like, we've talked about on the podcast, like, I'd rather show up believing that story than, oh my gosh, the toilet's dirty again, right? Like, if you can get into that mindset,
Because reality's going to stay.
I know.
gonna be there.
It is all about attitude. I used to, when I taught third grade, I had a poster of Ichiro that said, attitude is everything. It showed him, and, you know, it's when he was at his prime here. And all over the poster, attitude is everything. And I would just say that to my kids, you know, and it totally affects your life.
It does.
And I'm finally figuring this out, and I'm a little old to finally figure it out, but because, I used to complain about stuff a lot more, and then you realize this is it.
Yeah.
Let's not complain about it.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no second go around.
No. And on that note, if we sell or not, it's not the most important thing.
Right.
The fact that we are lucky enough to be able to create is just like a gift.
Yeah, I think even just having that creative drive and the creative energy.
Yeah.
Because we talk a lot about the sales side versus, because I think it's a huge part of what artists talk about. But you're right, it's a gift just to be able to be creative and then to be able to connect with other creative people because of that. Like, there's so much wonderfulness about it without the sales side.
There's wonderfulness.
It's wonderful when you sell something too. Right.
Yeah.
But,
I think it's validating is why.
It's validating.
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's with anything you're selling. Right?
Yeah, and we just see so many artists that aren't ready for that gallery experience anyway. They don't have enough art, or they haven't developed a technique into their technique, or they
Totally.
haven't, you know. So that's the part that I keep trying to share with other artists. Is like, just go make art. Something will come of that.
Right. So many people want to sell stuff right away.
Right.
And I was the opposite. She's like, get your art out there. And I'm like, oh, I will when I'm ready.
Right.
And she's like, no, you're close enough. Get it out there.
Right.
And it's true. I've improved since then. But she gave me in fact, I'm thankful to her forever, because I respected her so much as an artist, and she pushed me to take my art to the J and to do it. I don't think I would have on my own.
It's difficult.
Yeah, we need to all support each other. But like you said, on the other hand, you don't want people to do it before they've really developed some confidence and some skill.
Yeah, I think that's a big part, right? Is like, get your mindset in the right place before you show up and try and sell, because you're gonna hear some
no's.
Yeah. I think that's a huge part of why we started the podcast, was to get that mental side built up. You know,
Right?
Just have the conversation.
Yeah.
I took an online course. It was for a full year. And he taught things like composition and balance and the basics of art and color mixing and all that. He spent the first 6 months working on all the mental stuff. And I think that's also what's helped me too. He's the one who had us all make vision boards. And so I really had to think about what I wanted and one of the things that I put on the vision board was I wanted to be in an artist community where we're supporting each other. And I swear, 3 weeks later, I met you guys.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the coolest thing in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's that magic again.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the spell casting and
Yeah.
the intention. And,
It's just accepting it for what it is. It's not a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences.
Yeah.
well, and I think watching for it too,
Yep.
and not just being like, oh yeah, I met them. Like, no,
Well,
I did this, and this literally happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it goes back to being hard on yourself or being in a negative space. That's all we see in the world then.
Right.
Whereas trying to be in that positive space or trying to be more curious about the experience, I seem to find what I need in that positive side.
Right. In fact, you're interviewing me, but I want to interview you. So when you do art, I'm going to ask you both, what do you get out of it? What's the positive for you?
I think that flow state, and I think so. We were just talking in the car, and I've gotten back into knitting, and because I have just about 200 published patterns out, and wrote 5 books and all of it, and I realizing now, literally this week, I had built this safe world in these soft toys to, I think, comfort that hurt child and remake the world how I want to make it. And like you're saying, there's enough negativity out there. Like these bears I'm working on right now, I'm like,
Oh,
the
they're
world
so
is-
happy.
It's so much better with these tiny bears.
Yeah.
Last night I knit a tiny strawberry for one, and then I put it in its hands. I did the little green top, and then I went, oh my gosh, it can be a hat on the bear too. So I think with painting, I love the process, and I love the sparkle at the end, and being able to work through, and I love how watercolor plays, and I love how the paint does stuff that is unexpected. And then I think it's just kind of, this is awkward, but like you're building the world how you want it to be when you're creating. I think is what I get from it. I mean, you want Tom to answer too? Yeah.
Now,
What
Yes.
do you
Tom.
get?
I definitely get a feeling of safety that I can't get in the real world. And it's definitely from a childhood place of that was my safe place to go hide and do art.
Me too.
So there's definitely a calming of the mind that takes place. There's all of that.
For me, it's that I'm not thinking about what I look like, what I need to do. I'm just immersed in the moment. You're completely in the moment.
Yep.
It's just the best feeling in the world.
I was telling Tom on the way here, I did a little research this week, and I was starting to say this and distracted myself. The knitting specifically between, I guess there's actual proven research, and I would assume with the painting as well, but knitting specifically, you have the rhythmic movement.
Right.
And then you're using both hands, because you knit too in the past, right?
Yeah.
And so you're using both hands, which links both sides of the brain. They start talking to each other.
One scarf.
That's it. Okay. Well, that's enough. You've done it. And then
I'm
it's
not like
enough
you.
well, yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, we should have that. Yeah. I could be your permanent guest.
Yes, I know. I'm like, this is working.
This is working.
I'm finally relaxing.
Once you get going, it gets easier,
Yeah.
right? So with the knitting, it also brings you into the present moment because you're only on each stitch, like you're saying, and then it calms down. it's enough to think about that it calms down any racing anxiety voices.
Yeah,
And
that
then what
makes
was the other
sense.
thing I said? There was another thing.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
agree. I think for me, it keeps me out of the past, all the regrets and the what ifs, and it keeps me out of
Which
these
are useless.
right, and
Okay.
it keeps me out of these random expectations about what needs to happen tomorrow or the future, right?
Right.
So
it
that-
just keeps you right
It
in
keeps
the
me
present.
right there. This is the only thing that matters right now.
So for all three of us, that's key. It keeps us right in the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so hard then if you are selling your work, that it is so safe and so in the moment to then go get it judged and go try and sell it. It's like, this is the opposite of what I was in my moment, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been trying to myself, like, to distance that exceptional moment that's mine to have joy with and in value, and just separate that off from the finished piece of art. Like,
It is a whole separate thing
yeah,
for me.
I mean, it
Yeah.
kind of has to be.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because then you're really, it is the two-sided. It's not
Well,
just.
then you're not just, for me, it became, I'm not just doing it for this masterpiece, I'm just doing it,
It's the whole process.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's unfathomable to even think that, like, every piece is going to be a masterpiece.
Right.
Like,
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
it doesn't happen all the time. Like, if I get 2 or 3 a year that my socks are blown off, I think that's an exceptional year. But there's a lot of in between projects that somebody else thought they were great, but they weren't masterpieces to me.
Right.
Yeah.
That kind of messy middle too.
One of my favorite paintings has shown several times. Nobody buys it.
Oh, that's funny.
So do you think
And then I thought, maybe I'm afraid to, maybe part of me doesn't want to let it go.
that's what I was like?
Right.
Is it because it's supposed to be in your house?
I
Because
don't
it's-
know.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
And it's funny, we never have hung it up or anything.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love it. And other people kind of look and go, eh. It isn't my usual bold colors. It's
Oh, yeah.
more scratching and it's subtle. I could
Right.
show it. Well, actually, it's all with the painting. It's a big mess down there, so I could might be hard to find it. But someday I'll show it to you. But I love it. And then I think, well, why do people not buy that one? It's wonderful. And then other ones that I'm not that proud of, people buy.
Like first thing.
Yeah.
First one.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not funny. It's so funny.
I just think it's unlimited.
And then you have other ones that I've shown so many places.
Right.
And then finally, maybe years later, somebody will buy it. And I'm going, again, like you said, though, you have to find the right person.
Finding the
Right.
right person.
At
for
the
that
right
piece of art.
moment, with the money, with the space. It really
Right,
is.
because
Yeah.
a lot of times there's the right person, but they don't have the money. I've seen so much art that I just think is incredible, but I can't buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, and we have very limited wall space in our house, so
Yeah.
it's not even always like sometimes you just don't have a place for it
Yeah.
either. And you know, I'd hate to buy a beautiful painting and then just put it in a closet. You
Exactly,
know,
yeah.
like,
Right.
that doesn't make
Not
sense.
respectful to
Right,
the artist.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember when we came to visit your studio before, and you have a room with paintings in it, and that was so. It was like permission for me because I do, after creating forever, you know this too.
It piles
You
up.
piles up, and so you just had a dedicated space for it. And
Yeah.
it was like, oh,
Well, I'm lucky enough to.
well, that's true.
Right.
That's
totally. Because
Right.
at our last house, like, we didn't.
true. Right.
Yeah. And I
Right.
don't want to rent a place.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Like, yeah, it's nice to be able to have a space at home to
Yeah.
to work instead of having to, you know, because I think I would put much more. I have to sell work if I'm paying for a space, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that adds pressure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just figuring out what pressures can we manage, I think.
I think that's
What
true.
can we control? What can we surrender?
Well, that's like I know I should post more. But I just don't enjoy doing it really.
Right.
And I even tell myself every time I finish a painting, I'll post it. And I don't. So there's part of me that doesn't even want to.
Right.
I've
Right.
been posting more, and like
I'm
this
trying to
week,
learn to do it more.
It's a challenge. That's part of the anxiety this week. Is like, I posted one thing on Instagram that got 1,200 views. The next post got
Whoa.
120, and I'm like, I just
Right.
I'm not interested in why it's happening, and I don't want to be
I
an
don't want to
expert
get
in it.
involved in that.
Right.
It doesn't make me feel good.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm trying to figure out how to come at it unattached, where I am posting and sharing. Because whenever I see a painting of yours on Instagram, I'm rarely on there, but like I like seeing
Yeah.
other people's work.
Me too.
But it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to show up.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, Tamara's been posting a lot.
I noticed that.
And her stuff is so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I always try and give it a heart at this
Yeah,
point because I realize
exactly.
how important it is now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But it is a weird world where we feel pressured to publish ourselves.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, right. Yeah, it's but you are like you're putting your stuff up at galleries too. So
yeah.
it's just
As much as anybody will have me. Yeah.
yeah,
Galleries is a whole nother discussion we
Yeah.
could get into because they're having a hard time now.
yeah,
Because people are buying more online. People are worried about their money right now, and with good reason. And
right.
yeah, every time I go to the grocery store, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, with the feeding the family, it's like, oh, how much did I? And the fridge isn't even full. There's
I
room
know,
in here.
I know.
Yeah,
Well, I'm saying that to Joel. I'll buy, where I think it's a ton of food, and then the week later, there's like nothing to eat.
yeah. Or we'll go to the grocery store and then get dinner out that night. It's like, oops. Apparently that didn't work this week. That's funny. Yeah,
That's all right.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to cook all the time either.
Yeah.
Plus, we're
Especially-
supporting our local
It's
restaurants.
true. That's what we say. Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah.
It's,
Everybody needs support.
Don't you
true.
think it's an
It's true.
interesting thing how we artists all like start buying from each other?
Yeah.
Right.
Because we know how important it is.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm like more aware when I'm online now. Like, make sure and acknowledge
Yeah.
and let the algorithm know and stuff that this is worth sharing.
Yeah.
Well, should we call it our first?
Yeah, we talked a long time.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we tend to get a sign that you've been talking an hour.
Right.
So,
I haven't
Yes.
seen
I know we're
Uh-huh.
starting to talk about the price of groceries.
Yeah,
so
we are.
Maybe,
That's
yeah.
true.
We
That's true.
we could put that in the podcast.
do you want to say so?
TomFerryStudio.com.
Show you, and
Facebook, Instagram, Tom Ferry Studio.
And then I'm RebeccaDanger.com or Rebecca Danger on Instagram or the Darlings Company. I started a new Instagram. Do you want to tell us how
Yeah,
we can
and
find
I'm
you?
Lori VanEtta Artist.com. And then Instagram, I think it's vanetta.lori.
And we'll put links in everywhere.
If
too,
you
so-
just Google my name, it all pops up.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. Google's good. So
Lori
Oh, right, yeah.
VANETTA.
there you go. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank
having
you,
us.
Lori.
Pleasure.
And this
Yeah.
I think we should definitely have you on again.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was
This has
really
been really
fun.
fun,
After
so-
I relaxed
Yeah.
at the beginning, I'm like, what's weird is when you're nervous, it's like you're watching, there's a part of you watching yourself and analyzing.
Yeah.
Right.
And then once you relax,
Judging.
judging.
Yeah.
Yeah, for God's sakes, could we ever stop?
Right.
Yeah. So Tom knows this, but my kids, when they were in kindergarten, they'd have circle time on the mat. And if somebody would say something, they'd be like, oh, me too. So the teachers would say this, if you agree. So
Yeah, we did.
agree.
We did.
The-
I think. Oh yeah.
I'm saying on the judging all the time, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's
Hey,
it.
Finley, we're pretty much done, Joel. We just finished up.
So let's see. We'll wrap up and say, go make something.
Go make art.
I know.
And,
Want to
yeah.
see what I'm working on?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.